Let me paint you a picture.
You're outside on a lovely walk. The air is crisp, the leaves beneath your feet are crisp. You're a little bit chilly, your face is a little bit red because it's a little burnt from the cold. You're bundled up, you have your hot chocolate or your apple cider or your chai or whatever beverage in your hands. It's warming you up. You breathe in and you feel like your nose has mint inside it because the air is that crisp. And you look fabulous because it's fall. You feel great, you look great.
That is exactly what my fall makeup encapsulates. It's cozy, it's natural, it's a little bit moody, it's very fall. This is a look that I have not been able to stop doing. This is an easy look. It's flattering on everyone, and you can wear it for literally any occasion in the fall and beyond. I rock it almost every day that I do my makeup at this point, and I want you to rock it too. So if you're on the hunt for a natural, easy, flattering fall makeup look, let me show you what I do. Let me show you my go-to. Grab your makeup bag and let's do some makeup, shall we? Okay, let me just put my hair back for a second because it's a little crazy. It's getting long, huh? Literally outside my window right now, it's super gloomy, like the perfect weather to like cozy up in my bed and read. We're here though, we're here and that's cool, but it's like that outside my window. Just wanted you guys to know. Maybe I'll give you a visual later, I'll insert it, maybe. Don't hold me to it because I might forget. My base is always natural. And in the winter and fall months, my skin tends to get a little bit drier. So during the fall and winter, I still keep it natural, but a little bit more emollient. I want something a little more emollient. That being said, I still love my blurry makeup, don't get me wrong. And it's always a natural face, always a natural BB cream, tinted moisturizer situation because I cannot deal with a full face of foundation on the daily. I have just recently rediscovered my Herborian BB cream nude. I have the shade Nude. This is incredible. May or may not have stolen this from my mom's vanity. Oops, sorry. I used to have one of these, loved it so much, and I found this in her vanity. She wasn't using it, so I decided I was gonna use it. It's perfect for fall, but before doing that, before I actually forget, I do a little bit of my Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin Blurring Balm Powder in the Universal shade, and all I do is grab a little bit of this, and I like to put it in my T-zone mainly, simply because I like the fact that this blurs without me needing a ton of powder later, because I do find that it gives me a bit more of a textury, crepey look to my skin, but I still want things to be a little blurry. I don't want the oils to go crazy. Well, this is the way to go. Also, I'm breaking out a bit because luteal phase, woo, but we're persevering. I just apply this anywhere that I have pores that are slightly more visible. Also in my forehead, can you see? It's glimmering. And this kind of tones that down. Do you see how incredible it is? Love it so much. And this doesn't dry me out, which is exactly what I'm needing for this season. So this goes down before. You can also apply it after. I do like to apply it before anything else so that it can soak up any oils before I apply my other products. I'm loving this REM brush. I think this is for blush, but I use it for my foundation and like skin tint situation, and it works perfectly. I do go in with this, oh, love so much. I will say that this formula is incredible because it evens out my skin. Not a lot of coverage, but evens out everything. Gets rid of the redness for the most part. And the shade works perfectly, like you can literally see it's exactly the same shade as my skin tone. But that is not the case for everyone because they don't have a great shade range, unfortunately. But the formula is incredible. I know they also have like the formula that transforms into your skin tone. It starts off white and then as you blend it, it transforms. Have not tried that one, but I do hear it's amazing, and if it's anything like this formula, it is gonna be incredible. I'm using my Haus Labs Triclone Concealer with the Haus Labs brush, simply an elite combo that I love so much. And this has more like a medium coverage. I like to spread it on my hand, and then I'll go in with my brush and like really prime it. And then I'll go into my under eyes first, and then if there's anywhere else in my face that I need the coverage, I will go there after. So good. So amazing. I'm not looking for like total coverage, but it is important for me because I have bad under eyes. And I will be going in with some like bluey shades on my eyes, like navier gray shades. So I want to make sure I get rid of most of the darkness so that it doesn't look like I got punched in the eye. I also go over anywhere that is a little bit red still. Oh, but this concealer, I swear, it is the best. And usually I'll add another layer of concealer for just the areas that I feel like still need a little bit more coverage, but I've been experimenting with doing my blush and my bronzer before doing that so that I can clean up any mistakes with my concealer. I've seen a lot of makeup artists do that, and I've been liking the results so far. Sometimes I do it before all my concealer, sometimes I do it before like retouching my concealer. That's what I'm doing today. So for my bronzer, if I can ever find my brush, I'm using my Makeup by Mario Soft Sculpt Transforming Skin Enhancer. You guys know this is amazing. I love it because it is very light. As a deep winter, I don't do a lot of warm bronzers anymore because they don't really suit me, but this one is just right and it is pretty sheer. So it gives me a little bit of dimension and color without overwhelming my face, which is exactly what I don't need. Now, in my opinion, a quintessential fall staple is berry blush. Today I'm using the Cloud Paint in Storm by Glossier. I think berry is just the color of the fall. I love a berry tone, and it also suits me really well because I am a deep winter. In case you didn't know, it looks really nice and very natural. It can be an intimidating color, I know, but it isn't crazy once you like apply it and blend it. Let me show you. Again, I do like to prime all my brushes very, very well before going in, so that I can like really build the product without going too crazy all at once. But as you can see, it just looks very natural, and I do like to concentrate it mostly here. I have a small face, so it kind of goes everywhere, but I do try to be a little bit more intentional with my placement. I'm working on that because I find that that helps makeup look less messy. And as you can see, like this shade kind of just gives me that like I was just outside and my cheeks are hurting from being so cold kind of look. You can also get that with a more reddy, like red base. But I like this one because it's more fall in my opinion. Red I would do for winter. But once I've applied enough blush to my liking, I'm gonna go in with my concealer now, my other half of my concealer application, and this is when I go in directly from the applicator, and I'll just apply like a dot of concealer wherever I feel like my under eyes need it. And I try to add just a tiny bit of product, and this is where I can also clean up any craziness that went on with the blush to make things look a little more neat. I don't know if you can see the difference that it makes, but I can. And then lastly, all I do is powder. We need a powder, guys. I can't be looking super dewy, and the Nanesamyrix helps. I also like to go in with a powder that isn't too hardcore. Kosas Cloud Paint is back in the rotation, baby. Mine is busted. I really love this. I'm also going in with like a huge powder puff. This one's by Sephora. And I'm really packing it on in here, taking off the excess. And then I just like to go in, firstly, to the T-zone as well. And you can tell, like that literally blurred everything instantly. And then I go out everywhere else. Also going hard on the forehead because I don't want it to be a beacon of light. I don't want it to be super shiny. And then last but not least, I do like to go in with a tiny bit of this very carefully under my eyes, just to get rid of the shine. Don't want to add too much texture down here because I don't want my under eyes to look super heavy. I'm going to do my eyebrows real quick, and I have been loving this Morphe Nano Brow Pencil. I have the shade Chocolate Mousse. It is the smallest, you can't even see it, the smallest tip ever. And it is helping me do my brows in the easiest way. I know I have like bushier brows, so I can get away with like any pencil actually, but this is just making it so easy to not overdo it and just fill up the sparse areas. If you have thinner brows, this is gonna be perfect to create like those brow strokes that look so natural. To hold everything in place, I'm using my Rare Beauty Flexible Lifting Gel, the greatest. Now, one thing that I have been implementing for my fall look that I haven't for I feel like most of the year is eyeshadow. I've been very anti-eyeshadow for a long while now. I don't know if it's necessarily this year, but for fall I feel like playing with shadows makes the look so much more interesting. So I will be doing eyeshadow today, which is why I'm priming with my About Face Smoothing Shadow Fix primer. I don't know the actual name of this, but it is a really good primer, and I always prime my eyes. I know there are people who don't care for primer. I'm telling you, it makes the biggest difference. Very important to set so that things don't move around. No, for fall, I'm incorporating more eyeshadows. It's gonna be a little more nuanced, but not complex. It's still gonna be super easy. I don't have time to do like a full-on eyeshadow look on the daily when I just wanna do my fall makeup and go. It's gonna be easy. It's gonna add a little bit more impact, but it's not gonna be hard. Firstly, I'm using my Makeup Forever Artist color pencil in whatever black. I always confuse the names. And I like to go in with a light line of this on my lash line, like the outer half of my lash line. Because I have smaller eyes, I want them to like go out and look bigger. Not to look super closed in, but it depends. If you have super big, round, beautiful eyes, you can go all the way. That would look gorgeous. This is just what I do though. And you can be a bit messy, it doesn't matter because we're gonna smudge. You can also do this with a brush if you want it to be a little less messy. I just find that the fingers warm up the product and give it that slightly grungy look, which I enjoy. And for this, definitely make sure you have like a good liner that you can manipulate for a while, not those liners that set very quickly, because then it would be a lot harder to blend. You can even add a little bit of a slight wing, just very slight, because I do like my eyes to go out a little, but we're not going super crazy. We have our base. It's time to go in with the main event, in my opinion, which is this incredible palette by Morphe. I'm loving Morphe at the moment. This is the Cyberchrome eyeshadow palette. It's perfect. If you're a deep winter, this is the perfect palette. They have 5 or 6 different shades of this, like different variations of this, but this one is just perfect for deep winters. I love all the colors. You get 3 mattes, 1 like shimmer, and then 2 super metallic-y, glittery products that you can use wet or dry. And I think today I'm going to use a mix of this one right here, which I'm pretty sure is Giga Gray, but I don't know how to decode these palettes. We're doing Unplugged, which is this one right here. It's bluey gray. I think it's super unique and I really love it. So I'm starting with a light taupey color fluffy brush, and I'm just gonna do this literally in the outer corner. Mostly outer corner, and once it's situated there, I will bring it in slightly into the crease. But we want to keep all the color right out here. That is going to keep the eyes more elongated and lifted. And this looks like a very, very light color, but once it's on, it actually has a little bit more oomph. Always starting with a light touch and making sure we are blending everything together. And then grabbing that same shade and going all over the lower lash line to tie both lash lines together. And if you're looking for something super natural, just, you know, a little bit of definition, I'm not gonna say this is the most natural eye look because it's not, but if you want something that is a little bit more natural and less impacty, you could leave it at this, put on your mascara and go, and I think it's a really cool, like slightly grungy look. But I do want to add my gray blue because that is like the star of the show in my opinion. So I like to grab like an angled brush and just go in with the shade, grabbing a bit at a time, and then I'm applying this wherever I apply the eyeliner. And I'm literally just stamping, not dragging, not making my life any harder. Again, I'm gonna slightly tug the color out, slightly, for a faux wing. And by tapping, it also helps me like blend the color a little bit and like diffuse it, which creates a very fun look. I love this color It doesn't really look like anything on camera, but it just looks like the slightest pop of color on my lids, and it's making my brown eyes pop a little bit more because it has the like blue in there. I could definitely go chunkier, but I don't want to because I want to keep it a little bit more natural. So to tie everything in, I'm just gonna do the slightest bit of this on the outer corner of the lash line to connect, but I don't want it to be a super intense moment, you know? And to blend, I'm just using the other brush, making sure it's all blended together. And now I'm debating for a finishing touch, maybe adding a little bit of this color. This is Crossed Wires, which is very beautiful, like a duochrome purple. Look at that. It's so pretty. Should I add just the tiniest bit of this to my inner corner? I don't know, because I really love all the matte that we have going on. It looks very grungy, very cool. But let's just experiment, right? This is not something that I've been doing, but since we're here, should we try it? I'm gonna need like a tiny brush, like a tiny flat brush, and I just wanna grab a little bit of this. I don't wanna go crazy because we just want a little bit of that sparkle for the inner corner. Ooh. It looks cute. I like how it looks, actually. I wouldn't do it every single day because it definitely pulls a little bit purple, but it looks cute. And it definitely brightened things up a little, don't you think? Nice. It looks subtle. I could also wet this and make it super intense, but I like that it's subtle. Now it's time for lashes. I'm just gonna curl them real quick. I hate doing this, but it really does make a difference. And now I'm going to move on with mascara. I'm using this new L'Oreal Extensionist mascara. I saw it at Ulta a while ago, picked it up. I have only used it a few times. I'm not sure how I feel about it yet, but it looks very nice. It's very black. But I feel like I need to play with it a little more. It's a little too wet for me right now. I like a drier mascara, but it definitely gives my lashes a bit of an oomph that I feel like goes very well with this look. For the lower lashes, I'm just gonna do like the outer half. And this helps with the elongating look that I was talking about before. It really like puts all the focus on the outer part of the eye. Okay, lashes are done, and I just have to say, I love a cool tone look for fall. I feel like whenever we do think about fall makeup, it's always like warm browns, like reds, oranges, you know, and those are gorgeous colors for fall, don't get me wrong. I just feel like cool tones are underrated, and they can also have their place in fall makeup. When it comes to my lips, I do want to keep the berry tones going. I do like a monochrome moment with the cheeks, and you can definitely go all out with a full-on berry lipstick, but I like to keep it a little bit more natural with a stain. For me, 2025 has been the year of lip stains. I'm obsessed, I love, and I have found some really good ones from the drugstore. My favorite one though is the e.l.f. Sheer For It blush tint in the shade Cherry Cola. I don't use this as a blush tint. It's hard for me. Like, I find it hard, like a tint formula for the cheeks, but for the lips, this is amazing. I love it. It's not the most long lasting, but it gives me just such a natural look. I go a bit over my lip line to make it a little bit more blurry and make my lips look bigger. As the day goes by, it gets very sheer. So it's not gonna stay like this the whole time. I do love how it looks like this. I just feel like it's a little much between the eyes and the lips. I do wanna lightly line with my NYX lip pencil in the shade Nude Beige, just to add a bit of definition. They do get a little messy, so a lip liner makes it so much easier to control. Now it looks a little more controlled. And sometimes I like to leave it like this. If I know I'm going outside and it's gonna get cold and I have permanently dry lips, I like to use a same colored balm on top. Two of my absolute favorites are the Queen Musia Skincare Supercharged Tinted Hydro Balm in the shade Vaude Vine. This is gorgeous. Okay, I love it. This one is a little bit more pigmented. It's balmy, but it's more of like a subtle balm. It's not super shiny, it's not super glossy, and it's not the most hydrating. This is what I was using before. I used a stain before I found like a good stain for me. This is my everyday shade. Or if I want something berry and also super hydrating, like my lips need TLC, I go for the Edam Lip Softening Balm in the shade Fig Saws. Let me swatch it as well. And this one is a little bit, I want to say like deeper and more brown. As you can see right here. This one is more like authentic berry. This one is more like brownie. I do want to add a little bit of something. I'm gonna do the Edam. And then having the Edam with the base makes things obviously a lot more intense. If I was just using Edam on its own, it is very, very sheer. Same with the Queen Musia, but these are my two loves if I need some more hydration or I want something like super, super sheer. But I also use them with this and it's just... Now for setting, I do love my One Size setting spray. It is very intense, very matte. During the fall and winter, I want my makeup to last. I don't want it to be super dewy, but I do want my skin to look hydrated. Obviously, because I go outside, it dries up. So I'm using the Cali Ray Surf Proof setting spray. This is clean, hydrating, and long wear. So it also smells like Malibu Barbie. And the mist is just so, so, so fine. It is unidentifiable. I got it in my mouth. Unidentifiable on the face. And it just adds like a layer of hydration that is deeply needed when it gets cold like this. So here we are. Should I take these off maybe? So you can actually see like the full effect potential of the look. Oh my god, I love this. I'm sorry. I love this look for fall. To me, this is giving slightly witchy, but in a cozy chai latte by the fireplace wrapped up in a blanket kind of way. It's super easy, super flattering. I love how these shades make my eyes pop. Love the lip. It's just everything about this is very fall to me. But I also think it can be the perfect like transitional winter look. These elements also work for winter looks, and I think it's a perfect look if you're wanting something a little more natural but with an impact for all the upcoming holiday parties. But what do we think? And that is how you do my everyday fall makeup look. It is very easy to execute, but it makes an impact, and I feel like those are the best kind of makeup looks in my opinion. So I really hope you try this out because I feel like it's such a vibe. If you're a deep winter, try this out with like shades that are similar to what I used and thank me later because it's gonna make you look gorgeous. But if you want to tailor this to shades that actually suit you, you can totally do that. And I think it's still gonna be a beautiful look that'll make an impact on you. So thank you so much for watching and hanging out with me today. I had a blast. I love fall. I love talking about fall and fall makeup. And I hope you did too. I love you and I hope I get to see you right here for my next one. Bye. Mwah.